You see, most people walk around believing that low self-confidence is something they were born with. They think it's who they are. They say, I've always been shy, or I've never been confident, as if it's a personality trait like eye color or height. But that's a lie your mind has been repeating to you for years, and the more you've heard it, the more you've believed it. The truth is, low self-confidence is not who you are. It's a pattern. It's a habit. It's something you've practiced, reinforced, and made familiar. And the moment you understand that, you realize something incredible. If it's learned, it can be unlearned. You didn't come into this world doubting yourself. Think about it. When you were a kid, you didn't care what people thought. You'd sing out loud, dance awkwardly, talk to strangers, stumble, fall, get up, and try again. Confidence was natural because you didn't yet know the meaning of judgment, comparison, or failure. But as you grew older, the world started teaching you how to doubt. Someone laughed when you said something silly. A teacher told you your idea wasn't good enough. A parent compared you to someone else. And piece by piece, belief by belief, you started building walls around your potential. You didn't even realize it, but you were training your nervous system to hesitate. You were conditioning your brain to play small. You created a habit of low self-confidence. Here's what most people don't understand. Confidence isn't an emotion that shows up randomly. It's a state you can create. But because we've been repeating patterns of fear, self-criticism, and avoidance, our brain has made it automatic. That's what habits do. They automate behavior. So if you've been telling yourself for years that you're not good enough, that you'll fail, that you don't belong, guess what? That script runs in the background without you even noticing. You wake up with that voice. You make decisions through that voice. You talk to people through that voice. It becomes your filter for reality. And here's the key. What you repeat becomes what you believe, and what you believe shapes how you live. So the first step in breaking the habit of low self-confidence is awareness. You've got to see the pattern for what it is, not your identity, but your conditioning. You're not broken. You've just been rehearsing the wrong script. And until you interrupt that pattern, it's going to keep showing up. Every time you get an opportunity and talk yourself out of it, every time you hear that inner critic say, who do you think you are? That's the habit running on autopilot. Now, awareness isn't enough by itself. You can't just know the pattern. You have to break it. You've got to interrupt it in the moment and replace it with something stronger. Every time that voice of doubt appears, you need to say, that's not me. That's my old pattern talking. You've got to remind yourself that you're in control now. You've got to create a new association, one where taking action, even in fear, means growth, where uncertainty means opportunity, where discomfort means expansion. Because confidence isn't built in comfort zones. It's forged in motion. It's built when you move forward despite not feeling ready. Let me tell you something powerful. Every person you've ever admired, every so-called confident person, every high performer, every leader, they all had moments of self-doubt. The difference is they didn't identify with it. They didn't let it define them. They recognized that fear is just part of the process. It's a signal, not a sentence. They trained themselves to move even when the old pattern whispered, you can't. They acted before they felt confident, and through repetition, they built a new habit, the habit of self-trust. Confidence isn't about never feeling fear. It's about trusting yourself enough to know you can handle whatever happens. It's about saying, even if I fail, I'll grow. Even if I stumble, I'll learn. Even if it doesn't go my way, I'll become stronger. That mindset, that decision is the foundation of real confidence. Think about it. How many times have you stopped yourself because of fear of what others might think? You wanted to speak up in a meeting, share an idea, start a project, or tell someone how you really feel, but you held back. And in that moment, you trained your brain to play small again. The more you hesitate, the more you reinforce the pattern. But the opposite is also true. Every time you act despite fear, you weaken the old pattern. Every time you take even a small step forward, you rewire your brain toward courage. That's neuroplasticity in action. Your brain changes through experience. So the question is not, how do I stop being afraid? The question is, how do I stop feeding the pattern that keeps me afraid? Because what you feed grows and what you starve dies. If you want confidence, you have to start starving the old story. You have to stop telling yourself you're not enough. You have to stop replaying every failure like it's your identity. You have to start feeding yourself new evidence. You have to catch yourself when you say, I can't, and change it to, I can learn. Replace, I've never done this before, with this is my chance to grow. That's how you begin to shift your inner dialogue. And here's the thing, your brain loves familiarity. It doesn't care whether something empowers you or destroys you. It just wants what's familiar. So if you've been living in a state of doubt, hesitation, and self-criticism for years, that feels safe to your brain. Confidence, power, certainty, Those emotions feel unfamiliar. That's why people self-sabotage when they start feeling good. It's not that they don't want success. It's that their nervous system isn't used to it yet. But the moment you understand that discomfort isn't danger, it's just unfamiliar, you can recondition your nervous system for confidence. You can teach your brain that being bold, being expressive, being visible is safe. One of the most powerful things you can do is to remember moments in your life where you were confident, even for a second. Times where you stood up for yourself, took a risk, overcame something hard, or helped someone else. Relive that moment vividly. Remember what it felt like in your body, the way you stood, the way you breathed, the way you moved. Because confidence leaves clues. You felt it before, which means it's still in you. You just need to reactivate it. Let me tell you something about identity. Whatever you associate with who you are becomes your destiny. If you keep saying, I'm just not confident, you're literally reinforcing that identity. But when you say, I'm learning to trust myself, or I'm becoming more powerful every day, your brain starts finding evidence to support it. Identity drives behavior. You don't have to fake confidence. You just have to align your identity with the kind of person who shows up boldly. When your identity shifts, your behavior follows naturally. When you think of someone with low self-confidence, what do you see? Their shoulders are slumped. Their breathing is shallow. Their eyes look down. Their voice is quiet. Now picture someone confident. They stand tall, breathe deep, move with energy, make eye contact, speak with clarity. You can literally see the difference. That's not just a coincidence. That's physiology shaping psychology. And the more you move like a confident person, the faster your mind follows. So even if you don't feel confident yet, act like it, walk like it, speak like it, move like it. Your brain will catch up because behavior changes emotion faster than emotion changes behavior. Sometimes people say, but I've been like this for so long. And I say, so what? The past only equals the future if you keep living there. You are not your past. You are not your mistakes. You are the decisions you make right now. You can choose in this very moment to start rewriting your pattern. You can choose to stand up taller, to interrupt the old thoughts, to condition a new emotional state. You don't need 10 years of therapy to change a pattern. You need intensity, repetition, and a decision. The decision to say, enough. I'm done living small. I'm done letting fear dictate my life. I'm done mistaking my past conditioning for my potential. There's a part of you that already knows what you're capable of. It's that quiet whisper that says, there's more for me. You've just been drowning it out with noise. The noise of comparison, criticism, and fear. But if you stop for a second and listen, you'll feel it. That power inside you that's been waiting to be unleashed. You don't have to become someone new. You just have to remember who you are beneath the layers of fear and self-doubt. Here's the secret. Confidence doesn't start with belief. It starts with action. You act first and belief follows. Every time you do something your mind says you can't, you're teaching yourself that you can. You're building a new reference point. And those references accumulate. That's how confidence grows, not from reading about it or waiting for it, but from doing. I'll give you a metaphor. Imagine your confidence as a muscle. If you never use it, it gets weak. But the moment you start lifting even small weights, it grows stronger. The first reps are shaky, uncomfortable, awkward, but over time you build strength, and that strength translates into power. Confidence is built the exact same way, through repetition, through resistance, through progress. Now, I want you to remember something that could change everything. You are not your thoughts. You are not your feelings. You are the thinker. You are the observer. You can step back, look at that inner critic and say, that's not me. That's my conditioning. And the moment you separate yourself from the pattern, it loses its grip. That's where freedom begins. Because here's the truth. There's nothing wrong with you. There never was. You've just been hypnotized by your past experiences into believing you're less than you are, but your potential is unlimited. The real you, the one beneath the doubt, is powerful, capable, creative, unstoppable. You just have to remove the layers of conditioning that have been covering that power. Every time you notice the pattern of low self-confidence showing up, the hesitation, the overthinking, the self-doubt, stop, take a breath, smile, and say, there's that old pattern again. Don't fight it. Don't judge it. Just see it for what it is, a habit trying to survive, and then choose something different. Speak up when you'd normally stay quiet. Take action when you'd normally hold back. Compliment yourself when you'd normally criticize. Bit by bit, you'll recondition your mind. You'll rewire your nervous system for courage instead of fear. And the beautiful thing is, the more you practice confidence, the more it becomes who you are. Not because you forced it, but because you trained it. Confidence isn't arrogance. It's not about pretending to be perfect. It's about being authentic, being real, being aligned with your truth. It's about saying, I know I'm not perfect, but I'm willing to grow. I know I'll fall, but I'll get back up. That's real confidence. The moment you recognize that low self-confidence is a learned pattern, you realize you're not broken. You're just programmed. And you can rewrite that program anytime you choose. You can break the cycle of hesitation, fear, and doubt by replacing it with action, awareness, and courage. You can literally train your nervous system to see challenges not as threats, but as invitations to rise. You've been building patterns your whole life. Now it's time to build one that serves you. One that says, I am enough. One that says, I trust myself. One that says, I've got this. Because when you start to live from that state, everything changes. Opportunities appear. Relationships deepen. Energy returns. You start walking differently, speaking differently, living differently. Because you're no longer trapped by the story that used to hold you back. So the next time that voice of self-doubt tries to tell you who you are, smile. Because you know the truth now. That voice is not you. That's your past. And you're not living there anymore. You're stepping into a new chapter, one where confidence is not something you chase, but something you create. And it starts right now.